pretty good at wrapping around branches and twigs, getting all that yummy vegetation right off, and just like the giraffe, they can clean their eyes and their ears by using their tongue, which is totally awesome. But it looks like a little quiet over here on the left-hand side. No worries. Let's see if we can find anyone hanging around. And it does look a little quiet, but if you look way back there, yeah, good eye. There's an eastern black rhinoceros. I'm blinded by the light. It's okay. Now they're weigh between 2,000 and 3,000 pounds, and their horns are made out of the same thing our fingernails and hair is made out of, and that is called keratin. Unfortunately, they are poached for those horns. A lot of people believe it serves some sort of medicinal purpose, but of course it does not. Because of this, they are critically endangered. Less than 5,000 of them left. Now, 5,000, it seems like a lot, but it's not a lot at all. There are way more of you here in Animal Kingdom than there are of black rhino. But there is something we can do to help, like when it comes time to buying a new cell phone, recycle your old one. In cell phone, there's a mineral called coltan, and coltan is mined from their home. So when you recycle the phone, we can reuse the coltan and stop destruction of their homes just a little bit. And coming up on the left-hand side, definitely going to see some more antelope. Now, these cinnamon-colored antelope are my favorite. These are the bongo. And bongo are nicknamed ghosts of the forest because they're very rarely seen. Fully grown, their horns will complete one full spiral, and that is important because when they walk through brush and tree, it makes them silent. The light beige antelopes back there as well are the greater kudu. Greater kudu, one of the tallest antelope in Africa, getting 55 inches at their shoulder. Those ones there were female, and you're able to tell because they did not have any horns. The horns on the males can get 6 feet long. But we're leaving that forest behind, and we're going to go ahead and make our way into the Safi River. A lot of animals, they do like to hang around the water's edge. Water doesn't trap like and bring about life on its own. So, just around the riverbed, let's see what we can find. On your right, there's a hippo. Now, hippopotamus are usually found underwater like that for most of the day. It keeps them nice and cool. From the hot sun, please sit down. They can be prone to heat stroke. Please sit down. Now, they are pretty cute, hippopotamus, though. I do think they're very cute. But they are the second most dangerous animal in Africa, and that is because they are very territorial. But Hakuna Matata, we love them anyway. On your left, these white and gray birds here are the pink-backed pelican, and the pink-backed pelican get their name because during mating season, their backs turn a beautiful shade of pink. Outstretched, their wingspan can go across 9 feet, and that's the same size as the width of the canopy right above your heads. And I am already starting to see some beautiful cold-blooded Nile crocodile. Now, since they are cold-blooded, they're going to hang around nice and still for most of the day, conserving their energy and waiting to eat. They are opportunistic feeders, so they'll eat any chance they can get, and they can easily eat half of their body weight in a single swim. Now, I did see a few of them with their mouths open. They're not trying to be scary or threatening. Crocodiles, when their mouths are open, they're just trying to cool off. That's because that's where their sweat glands are located. But those ones there, those crocodiles were on the smaller side. Crocodiles can get about 20 feet long. They can live around 40 years old, and they have such an incredibly strong jaw. So much so that when they close their jaw, there's 2,000 pounds per square inch of pressure, which means it is literally bone crushing. But after a while, crocodile, we're going to go ahead and make our way into the savannah. But over here on your right, first and foremost, this here is a baobab tree. And baobab trees are also known as the tree of life or the upside down tree. Tree of life because it holds about 10,000 gallons of water into its trunks, and upside down tree because its branches look like roots. But as we make our way inside, keep your eyes peeled. These animals, they come from all sorts of different directions. We never know where they're going to be. So coming up on your left, I think this is the prettiest view in the entire reserve.
It's a giraffe.
Yeah, there are some giraffe down here, it looks like. Looks like we're going to see a lot of other cool stuff too. So let's go ahead and get a closer look. Now it looks like we're going to see a lot of these giraffes. Please sit down. These giraffes specifically are the Maasai giraffe, and Maasai translated from Swahili means messy. They have a little bit of a messy coloring to their look, but I think it looks like they've been colored outside the lines just a little bit. But here in the savannah, especially as nightfall begins to approach, all these hoofstock animals that live around here will clump together in what I like to call a super herd or a mega herd, and that is because there are power in numbers and they'll have eyes in all sorts of different directions looking out for predators. But speaking of predators, we have been pretty lucky lately. We've been seeing a lot of predators hanging around here. And I think in a few moments we'll get lucky and get to see some. Let's see if we can find something. Oh yeah, running around on the left there, the African wild dog. Now, African wild dog are also known as the painted dog because their fur looks like it has been painted on. Their fur coloring is unique to the individual dog except for their tails, which will remain the same color. They use it as a form of communication. They are one of the most successful predators with a 90% success rate. They'll run and run for miles without getting tired instead of just exhausting out their prey. And they can get down to the bone in under 2 minutes, which is pretty cool. I guess you could say they're bad to the bone. But anyway, on your left, you're going to see the sable antelope. And sable antelope are known for their orange sable color, and their horns are shaped backwards so that if they're attacked from behind, they can protect themselves quite easily, and they are very resilient. If they had to choose between a fight or flight response, they would always choose fight. They've been known to go head-to-head with an animal like the lion or the cheetah. Looks like we're in a literal giraffe jam. There's a giraffe walking across the path right now. There we go. We're making our way through some termite mounds, and termites, they make these out of dirt, dung, and saliva. They're like to bake in the hot sun until they get as hard as concrete. And once that happens, elephants and giraffes like to use them as a scratching post, and they'll scratch on it until it becomes smooth, and once it gets smooth, antelope use them as a way to see above the tall grass. Now on the left, we're going to see another kind of antelope, and you can spot her within the brush. That's a Patterson Zealand. They'll get 6 feet tall at their shoulder. They weigh a ton, literally 2,000 pounds, and they're so strong that at a standstill they can jump straight up into the air 8 feet high. Now back to the giraffe. Now giraffe in general are the tallest land mammal, getting about 20 feet tall. They have a pretty long tongue, getting about 20 inches long, and that's about the same length as your arm. It is speculated that their tongues are blue because they're always eating. Their tongues are always out, so it helps them from getting sunburned. They have 7 vertebrae in their neck, which I think is totally cool because we have 7 vertebrae in ours. My favorite thing about the giraffe, and the first thing they experience at birth, is gravity. There's a 6-foot drop to the ground, and that's because mom just starts standing up. That baby can be born weighing 150 pounds and 6 feet tall. So go mom. But coming up on your right-hand side, these animals with the really long horns are Ankole cattle. Ankole cattle are also known as Watusi. They're named after the Watusi tribe in Africa, the first people ever to domesticate them. Their horns can get so large that from tip to tip it can get 6 feet across, but they're not as heavy as they look. They're full of a honeycomb-type structure on the inside, layered with veins, ventricles, and blood vessels, which doubles as a personal air conditioning unit for the Watusi, where that hot blood will travel to the tip of the horn and come back down nice and cool, cooling down the cattle. On your right-hand side as well, there's some wildebeest. Now these are the white-bearded wildebeest. And wildebeest, they get their name from the Afrikaans word which translates to wild beast. They have one of the largest migratory patterns in the world. Together they'll travel in a group of 1.5 million and walk for 1,000 miles. They are also known as GNU, and that's G-N-U, and that's because that's the kind of noise they make. And their babies must be up and running between 5 and 15 minutes after birth because since they're always on the move, they're always on the lookout for predators too. A few more giraffe on the left-hand side. Now a group of giraffe is just kind of standing still. It's so fittingly named a tower. You know, it makes sense. They tower over everything. A group of spooky giraffes is called a tower of terror. But a group of giraffe that's on the move, a migratory herd, is called a journey. So don't stop believing. We're going to journey in elephant country. That was comedy gold. Anyway. And it looks like on our right, we're going to see an elephant. My guess is that he's a male, and You can tell because he's by himself. Males, they tend to be by themselves. They leave their herd in their early teens. I thought he was going to keep walking. They leave their early teens, 13, 14 years old. They just get a little too aggressive with the females and the babies. Now, he's looking a little bit dusty, a little bit dirty. That's all right. They tend to. Elephants, they like the dirt and dust and mud and things like that right onto their bodies. It helps protect their skin. They have incredibly sensitive skin, even more sensitive than ours. Make sure your little ones stay seated. It helps them getting sunburned. On your left, if you look closely, you're going to see some monkey. Now, these monkey are mandrill, and mandrill are the world's most colorful monkey, known for their blue and red coloring on their face and on their bottom. Their color will get brighter as they get more excited, which is cool. And that male you saw, of course, was much larger than all those other females. They'll get up to 100 pounds, while the females will get between 25 and 30 pounds. But I think if we are lucky, up ahead we'll run into a herd of elephants. And a herd usually consists of all females led by the matriarch. She'll have many years of knowledge that have been passed down from different generations on which migratory routes are going to be best. Which ones that are going to take them to the safest watering holes, and which ones have farms that they should be avoiding. It's fine. That was weird. So we're gonna go ahead and looks like we're going in the right direction through these red clay pits. Starting to see some markings into the mud, and there's some tusk marks on the right hand side there into that clay. Elephants, they eat clay. Gives them a lot of vitamins and nutrients. So let's see if we can find some of those lovely pachyderms up ahead. But you know, we are seeing elephants more often all the time like this anyway on reserves, and that's because 96 elephants every single day are hunted and poached for their tusks. It is an incredibly large number. It's a number that's hard to get back. One of the reasons being is that the pregnancy of an elephant, their gestation period lasts for 22 months, so almost 2 years, which is a pretty long time. But there is a really cool thing happening here in Africa. Elephants, they will unintentionally raid farmers' crops, and in return, unfortunately, the farmers hurt our friends, and of course, we don't like that. So, the Disney Conservation Fund has partnered together with the Elephants and Bees Project, and together through a series of sounds that elephants make, we have learned they're afraid of bees. Now, this is beneficial. We built beehive fencing all around these farms. If an elephant comes and bumps into one of the fences, they're just going to go into the opposite direction. So it's a win. Farmers get to keep their crops. We need more bees. We get more bees. The bees make honey. The farmers get a profit off of that honey. And most importantly, our friends, they don't get hurt. I do see the little lovely ladies just around this corner here. I think we'll get a better view of just a chip. But in the meanwhile, the next best thing, the greater flamingo. Now, don't mind those small birds. Those are not flamingo. But greater flamingo are the largest of the flamingo species and the lightest color pink. They're about 5 feet tall, and they get their pink color from eating their favorite food, brine shrimp. Brine shrimp contains the substance beta-carotene, and that's what turns them pink. Oddly enough, though, beta-carotene is also found in carrots. So if you eat too many carrots, you could turn orange. But this group is just a little on the smaller side. They like to stay in groups of 30,000 or more. But a group of flamingo is called a flamboyant, and I think that's pretty fitting. And if you're lucky on the left, you'll get to see that baby elephant down below. All the way seated, please. One last time, do not hold your little ones up in the air. There's some baby ducks. They're so cute. Okay. These lovely ladies on the left-hand side are the southern white rhino. They're going to weigh about 5,000 pounds. They get their name from the mispronunciation of the Afrikaans word, white. Now, white, of course, does not mean white, but it does mean wide, and that's because they have a wide mouth. Whereas that black rhino we saw, they have a prehensile lip. So these ladies are grazers. Now, rhino in general are notorious for their poor eyesight. They can't really see that far in front of their face, but they can hear very well. They can hear 10 miles away. Plus, they have a top speed of 35 miles an hour, which I think is very impressive for a 5,000-pound animal, especially because they gallop. And if you don't know what galloping is, it's when they're running, all 4 legs will leave the ground at the same time, just like that of a horse. Aren't they cute? On your left, there's a cheetah. They'll look to your far left-hand side there. Now, cheetah, they are the fastest land mammal, reaching speeds of 65 to 70 miles an hour in 3 seconds, and that's as fast as a sports car. They are the largest cat that purr, and they do not meow or roar or anything like that, but they do make a very sweet chirping noise. They've got these beautiful black stripes on their face because cheetah, they hunt during the daytime, and that is unusual for a predator. Here's another one here, he hunts at night. But since they hunt during the day, those black lines reflect the sunlight right off of their eyes. And their claws, they don't detract. They're always out and ready to go. And that is because if they're going to use that burst of energy to run, all they have to do is grip the earth and go for it. But since we're talking about cats, there are some cats that do like to hang around these large copy rocks where they can survey the land and kind of see what prey is hanging out down below. Let's see if we can find some lying around. I know, I set that one up perfectly. Now I see some ostrich on the right hand side and some pretty cool antelope. Now these fuzzy antelope on the right though are waterbuck. And waterbuck, they get their name because they drink an unusual amount of water for an antelope. They have a smelly oil that secretes from their skin that once it gets onto their fur, it makes them waterproof. On the left, lion. Now they are doing what they do best, sleep. They'll sleep 18 to 20 hours every day. But if they're awake and looking at us, they would see us just as well as we can see them. During the day, our vision is the same, but at night, their vision gets 6 times better. This one on top of the large rock, too. If you're walking around Animal Kingdom and you hear a low grumbling noise and it's not your stomach, it's not your friends, you're probably hearing the lion roar. You can hear the roar from 5 to 6 miles away. And I like to compare it to a stomach growl, although it doesn't really quite sound the same either. Because in movies or television, they substitute their roar for that of a tiger's or jaguars, or really other kind of cat. On the left, that is the love of my life, the warthog. There it goes. The warthogs are very resourceful. They are the largest of the burrowing animal, and they build these burrows that you see down below. Oh, there's another one. They back their body into those burrows with their razor-sharp tusks facing forward, looking out for predators or any unwanted guests. Their top tusks are used for digging, while their bottom ones are used for fighting, and I think it is the cutest name ever. A group of warthog is called a sounder. On your right, you're going to see some antelope that I think are pretty special. Now, these ones with the horns are Bontebok. Now, Bontebok, the reason I think they're special is because in the early 1920s, there was only 17 of them left in existence. There was only 17 of them alive anywhere. They're not going to be found in the wild. They're only found on reserves like this, but thankfully, thanks to reserves like this, there's now over 4,000, which is really cool. On the right as well, walking around, there's some ostrich. Now, ostrich are the largest bird. They'll get 300 pounds and 9 feet tall. And those ones are female, and you can tell because they have charcoal colored plumage, whereas the coloring on the males will be dark black. But we're going to go ahead and make our way into Magadi Glen, and Magadi Glen is our newest addition here to the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, and it's all thanks to donations made to the Disney Conservation Fund. And if you're out in the park and you'd like to donate, there are a few ways how, like after a purchase, you can round up the nearest dollar or donate on your own free time. I try to as much as I can, honestly, because Disney will match your donation 100% penny for a penny. And all of the proceeds go to helping animals that we've seen in here today and animals that are out in the wild. And it really does help. Every single animal we are seeing in here is endangered in one shape, way or another. And that's why that story about the Bontebok I think is so cool, because it shows that it really works. But I'll talk about that again in just a moment, because on the left, this antelope here is a scimitar horned oryx. Now, he is a desert antelope, so he can withstand temperatures so high that if his internal body temperature got to 115 degrees, he would not even break a sweat. Plus, he can go 9 months out of the year without even drinking a drop of water. Yeah, isn't that cool? There are, of course, other ways that we can help these animals out. Recycling is an obvious choice. But you can also switch coffee brands to something that's fair trade, or buy shampoo that doesn't come in those plastic bottles, or build a birdhouse, or plant some flowers. Those small acts can honestly make an enormous impact. And one of my conservation heroes, Steve Irwin, used to say, humans, we protect the things that we love. And he was right, and we do. And here at Harambe, we love these animals, and I love them. And I hope I got to get you to love them just a little bit more. But Harambe in Swahili means to come together, and that's what we're doing. We're coming together to help protect these animals, take care of them, learn more about them, and educate them. Not just ones here in Africa though, but animals all around the globe. Now, if you are, though, interested in seeing some more African animals, you still got about 35 minutes to check it out. Go check out Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. There you can see some mushroom like gorilla, meerkat, naked mole rat. There's underwater viewing area for hippopotamus and some really cool birds and insects like the Madagascar hissing cockroach. But as you enter, you might discover my favorite quote that says, "We are not inheriting the earth from our parents, we are only borrowing it from our children." It's something that I think is pretty impactful because when we help these animals, we're not just helping them, we're not just helping ourselves, we are helping future generations to come. And us humans, as the smartest animal, I think it's our job to help those who can't help themselves. So with that, my friends, our safari has come to an end. I hope you had a wonderful time, and once again, my name is Ashley. It's been my pleasure to take you out onto the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. So I'm not